Welcome back. In this lecture 4 review now, we're taking a dive into muscle contraction, things like troponin and tropomyosin, fiber types, force production, how the sarcomere actually generates movement. So let's get started here. These questions, again, like before, push you beyond memorizing diagrams and into understanding about how structure creates function. And just recall, this is Bloom's taxonomy that we are using. Please pause when you need to, right? Reason through each option, and let's hopefully elevate your physiology intuition. All right, question 1. Which regulatory protein shifts position when calcium binds to troponin? And the options are A, myosin, B, tropomyosin, C, titin, or D, actin. And the answer is B, tropomyosin. So this is actually at the base stage, the remember stage. Calcium binds troponin, which pulls tropomyosin away from actin's binding sites, and that enables crossbridge formation. Pretty straightforward for question 1. Now question 2. Which fiber type has the greatest capillary density and oxidative enzyme concentration? Type 2X, type 2A, type 1, or type 2C? And the answer here is C, type 1. Type 1 fibers are optimized for long duration aerobic work with a lot of strong oxidative machinery and very strong blood supply. And this is where we go from that 1 to kind of 2 phase where we're shifting from just purely remembering to at least trying to understand and appreciate and be able to explain your knowledge that you've learned. Question 3. During an isometric contraction, which variable stays constant? Muscle tension, muscle length, crossbridge cycling, or ATP use? And this is B, muscle length, right? Isometric contractions generate tension without changing that muscle length. That joint angle is fixed. Cross bridges still attach and detach those, so ATP is used. So this is where you had to go beyond just remember to actually appreciate and understand. So this is a solid level 2 understanding. Question 4, what happens to the I band during a concentric contraction? A, it lengthens, B, stays the same, C, it disappears, or D, it shortens. Hopefully you didn't say that it disappears. The answer is D, it shortens. As thin filaments slide towards the M line, the I band, the region with only actin, shortens. So this is, again, straight up level 2. You got to know what it is and be able to understand how to answer the question. Okay, question 5. We're about halfway. We're going to slowly start moving up the difficulty. Type 2A fibers have which characteristic profile? A, high anaerobic power only. B, very slow shortening speed. C, hybrid aerobic and anaerobic capacity. Or D, lowest ATPase activity. Pause if you need it. Answer here is C, that hybrid. Type 2A fibers have both solid aerobic abilities as well as high glycolytic power. So it is that nice hybrid fiber, your hybrid car. We often train, especially we, meaning me, as we get older in life, start shifting more towards endurance activities and less towards those high power activities. So we like to take our type 2s and make them more like type 1. And FYI, here is just a quick chart describing the differences between type 1, type 2A, and type 2B. So somewhat complex material, but not complicated, which is why we're still at that level 2 in terms of our learning. All right, question 6, we are doing a callback to prior classes here. Which band remains constant in length during muscle contraction? Is it A, the A band, B, the I band, C, the H zone, or D, the Z line? And the answer is A, the A band. So the A band, which corresponds to myosin length, does not change whether the muscle shortens or lengthens. So this is another one that's that kind of starting with just remembering the material, but then at least being able to understand it and get the right answer. Question 7, what event directly initiates cross-bridge cycling? Is it A, calcium binding to tropomyosin, B, calcium binding to troponin, C, ATP binding to actin, or D, T-tubule shortening? This one is a bit tough. This one's B, calcium binding to troponin, which exposes actin's active site, enabling myosin heads to attach and initiate that cycling. Same thing. It's going beyond remember, you actually have to understand what's going on here and figure out which of the steps is the start and which are the secondary ones. Question 8. Which component ensures fast transmission of the action potential across that muscle fiber? Is it A, the sarcoplasm, B, the sarcolemma, C, the T-tubule system, or D, the M band? The answer here is the T-tubule system, which conducts action potentials deep into the fiber to trigger that calcium release from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Again, hopefully these are more straightforward. I kind of dialed things back a little to make things a little bit more routine on these review questions. But we got to dial it up a little. So here's question 9. A novice lifter training at 85 to 90% of 1 rep max is primarily stressing which fibers? Type 1, type 2A and 2X, type 2C, or hybrid type 1/type 2 fibers. And this one, we're now moving into that level 3 because we presented a case. This is something new, right? Using the information that you learned and understood and applying it in a new situation. So that's the whole point of a lot of these case-based questions, are to not just have you remember the material or even understand it, but now apply it. And in this situation, heavy resistance, right, greater than 85% of your 1 rep max, preferentially recruits those fast twitch fibers because type 1 fibers just cannot produce those required force levels. Time for another callback, right? Remember that spaced repetition and interleaving study techniques? That's what we're tapping into here. Which contraction type creates the highest force output per Crossbridge cycle? So think about that one. Concentric, eccentric, or eccentric to be accurate in the pronunciation, isometric, or isotonic. The answer here is B, that eccentric contraction, which generates the highest forces because cross bridges are being pulled apart, which increases the tension despite fewer active bridges. So there you go. That's a level 4. You had to remember and understand it, then apply it, but now you need to analyze the sentence to kind of come up and draw connections between these different ideas and problems to go from problem to answer.